Hi, and welcome to Scarlet Notes Podcast, Women's Month Edition. We hope that this strengthens you, empowers you, and encourages you. I hope you enjoy the message.
In God, the power in Jesus. So this morning I want to talk about a woman that every time that she appears in the Bible, she is at the feet of Jesus. She is at the presence of Jesus. So I want to call this message, Women Strong. Because I know in Jesus, we can get strong. We can become strong. I know we are not that strong physically, but in Jesus, you can become strong to fight your battles, to be and navigate in your life. So in His presence, you can find the wisdom. In His presence, you can find the knowledge that you need, like Proverbs say, to get strong. So this woman in the Bible was mentioned 3 times in the Gospels, only 3 times. The name of this lady is Mary. And I know maybe you remember Mary. She is the sister of Martha and Lazarus. We get confused with a lot of Marys there in the Bible because I know what's in the past, and now one of the names that's very known is Mary. So that happened in the past too. So Mary, every time that we find Mary in the Bible, she's at the feet of Jesus. So I know that we can learn valuable lessons about Mary this morning. And I want to touch those 3 encounters with Mary and Jesus. So I don't know what you think about feet, but I know feet is very intimate. And I know talking about Mary being at the feet of Jesus can show us that she's intimate and close to Jesus. And represent that she was dependent in Jesus, worshiping Jesus, giving Him all the glory, all the honor, because she was at the feet of Jesus. This woman acknowledged who Jesus was. He knew who Jesus was and what Jesus represented for her life, for Mary. So let's take a few minutes, the following hour, 2 hours, to join Mary at the feet of Jesus. So the first appearance is in Luke 10, 38, verse 42 to the 42. So they say, now as they were traveling along, He entered a village, and a woman named Martha, Mary's sister, welcomed Jesus into her home. She had a sister called Mary, who was seated at the Lord's feet, listening to His word. So the first encounter is that Mary was at the feet of Jesus listening to His word. So and Martha was distracted with all her preparations, and she came up to Him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me alone to do all the serving? Then tell her to help me. But the Lord answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered about so many things, but only one thing is necessary, and Mary has chosen the good part. And Mary has chosen the good part. So the first point I want to make is that at His feet, we can get to know Him more. At His feet, you get to know Jesus. At His presence, you get to know Jesus. So as moms, with all the things, all the lists, the things that we need to do, and all the things that we need to accomplish, it's so easy to get distracted. It's easy to lose the sight of what is the most important part in our lives as a Christians, as a woman. So sometimes after receiving Jesus in our heart, for those who have Jesus in our heart, also we get distracted. And we get excited, coming to church, and sometimes we are serving here in the church, serving in some kind of level. And we have spent years and years attending to church. I was born in church. My mom was pregnant in church, so I was born in church. And we spend years attending church, but we're not spending time at the feet of Jesus. We're not spending time at the presence of Jesus. So when we spend time at the feet of Jesus, at the presence of Jesus, we learn how to be like Jesus. We learn from His example. But sometimes we learn how to dress, because they teach us in the past how to dress in church, how to do makeup, nothing like this. I'm en pecado. But they teach us a lot of ways to do religion. But sometimes we're not learning how to spend time with Jesus, how to spend time at the feet of Jesus. So we lose the highest priority in our life, that is to choose the good part, to be close to Jesus. So it's a love and devotion to Jesus that will make us put everything else in the secondary importance. Because it's not a blessing and directing our own lives based on our human understanding. Because I know I'm a woman. And directing my life and my own understanding is chaotic. It's a chaos. Because everything is important. Everything is at the moment. Oh my God, the kids, they poop when they're babies. Or I need to go to the recital. I need to go to the concert. I need to do this and this and this. But sometimes we lose the sight of what is important in our lives to be able to be successful in all the areas in our lives. So Mary understood that she needed to spend time with Jesus. She needed to spend time with Jesus. As women, I know that we need to arise about all the noise, all the distractions that comes to our lives, and all the distractions and things that don't have eternal value. And to spend time in fellowship with God, fellowship in the Word of God, so we can have the abundant life that He promised for us as Christians. And we need to make this book our guide. The Bible says that this book needs to be in our minds and our mouths day and night. I'm not saying that you need to spend all your day reading the book, but sometimes we know this book. I have been in church 33 years, and I know the book. My husband is preaching. He said, tell me about a verse that go with this. I was like, oh, I know a verse because I know the Bible. But when I'm through something in life, I don't know why, but I don't remember what is in this book. So I have a funny story, and at the same time, it's kind of sad and not funny at all. But my job requires some traveling because I support the teams in Latin America. So I travel all South America. So when I got this promotion to do this job in 2015, I remember it was February 2015, before I started traveling, HR sent me an email with a travel policy. And as a good Mexican, you know, I'm not only Puerto Rican racist, so as a good Mexican, I open the email and I say, oh my God, this is too long. I'm not going to read this. And then I saw that this travel policy is available on the company site, so I said, I'm going to come back. Another day I'm going to read this. So I never read the policy. I never read the book. So I travel at least 1 week per month. Some of my flights, there are 5, 8, 10 hours to Argentina, where Gladys is from. So since I got this promotion in 2015, the company has been accommodating my salary. So my husband and I, we have been accommodating our expenses, our budgets, and sometimes we have been struggling to be responsible, mingling with the money, be responsible with our payments. So last year, July, remember, February 2015, July 2018, I traveled with one of my coworkers from Chicago. We met in Santiago, Chile. And in one of our dinners, she said, so what do you do? I said, about what? Do you travel business or you take the money? I was like, what are you talking about? I said, yes, you take the money, the travel incentive. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was chucking with the meat because the meat is good in Chile and Argentina. So I said, what are you talking about? She said, yes, the travel policy say that when you travel more than 8 hours, you can either fly business class, and if you decline this benefit and you say with this money to the company, because those flights to Argentina and Chile to first class is like $9,000 or $7,000, you decline this benefit, you get an incentive. And when she told me the amount, I wanted to die. I was, what are you talking about? So I didn't say anything to my husband in my trip in Santiago. When I came home, I told my husband, you're not going to believe me how much money we lost. 2015, I went to Chile, Argentina, Brazil, like maybe 20 times, and combined all those 3 years. And we were struggling with the money and trying to pinch all the money and mingle the money when God already provided that for me.
Right.
When he gave me that promotion, he knew about this benefit. But I was too lazy to read an email or to read a 100-page book.
Read the email.
So in this book, we have our policy. We have our instructions. But sometimes we are too lazy to read the book. So please read all the emails, okay? All the policies.
Say it again one more time.
Read all the emails, please. In the Bible, we find the knowledge. We find instruction in how to be developed and how we can grow in our Christian life, not in our Christian life, in our grow with Jesus, in the knowledge of Jesus. And remember the verse so we can get stronger and stronger. So I remember a verse the pastor Jose read a couple Sundays ago in Ephesians, where Paul was praying for the church of Ephesus. And this verse says, I pray for you constantly, asking God, the glorious Father, or our Lord Jesus Christ, to give you a spiritual wisdom and insight so that you may grow in your knowledge of God. I pray that your hearts will be flooded with light so that you can understand the confident hope. The confident hope he has given you to those he called. So everything that we need is in this book. Everything that we need in life is in this book. If we get close to his presence, if we get close to his feet, if we abide in Jesus, we can grow and light to resolve our problems. We can understand that what God is doing in our lives. Because God is doing something in your life, but sometimes we don't understand. Because we cannot get that understanding from our own understanding. We can get that wisdom from God. From God. So when you get to know God, you can understand his eternal plan. Because sometimes we have our own plan, but God has a plan for you. And you start focusing and praying for your temporary situations, for your temporary stage in your life. When we cry and worry like Martha was like, God, stop what you're doing and help me because Mary is not helping me. So when you cry in life and ask God to focus in your own situation with this, we ask God, hey, God, cease whatever you're doing in my life. Cease in whatever you're doing in your perfect plan and focus on my own plan. So the second encounter with Mary and Jesus was in John 11:20 to verse 35. And here we're going to learn that at his feet, you become his friend. Can you put number 2? At his feet, you become his friend. At the presence of God, you become Jesus' friend. So John 11:20 said, when Martha got word that Jesus was coming, this is when Lazarus died. That's the story of that. She went to meet him. But Mary, what does it say? Mary stayed in the house. So Martha was, Jesus is coming, let's find him. So he was running, trying to get Jesus. But Mary stayed in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would have not died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus told her, your brother will rise again, Martha. Martha said, yes, he will rise when everyone rises at the last day. Jesus told her, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die. Do you believe in this, Martha? This reminds me about coming to church for years. And it's like every time that you come to church or every time that you come to a situation, you have to again receive Jesus in your heart. Again, remind yourself about his promises. So Jesus said, do you believe, Martha? And he said, yes, God, I believe in you. So Yes, Lord, she told him, I have always believed that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come in the world from God, to the world from God. Then she returned to Mary. I love this part. She returned to Mary. She called Mary aside from the mourners and told her, the teacher is here and wants to see you. Jesus sent Martha and said, hey, I want to see your sister. Martha staying where? In the house. So Mary immediately went to him. Jesus had stayed outside the village at the place where Martha met him. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leave hastily, they assumed she was going to Lazarus' grave to weep. So they followed her. When Mary arrived and saw Jesus, she fell at his feet. Again, she was at Jesus' feet and said, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping and saw the others crying, they say he was deeply troubled. A deep anger was in Jesus. He was deeply troubled. And he asked, where had you put him? Where had you put the body? He asked them. They told him, Lord, come and see. Then Jesus wept. The other version said, Jesus cried. First, we learned that Mary, she stayed in the house. While Martha was running desperately, trying to find Jesus, we see Mary, she stayed put. She stayed in the house. We know that every time, and we read every time that when Mary was at Jesus' feet, Martha was present. Martha was always there, but she was distracted. She was distracted. And Jesus had to remind Martha his promise. He had to remind Martha in the middle of the situations, remind her about his power, about his power. Martha forgot the power of Jesus. That only Jesus can save her, only Jesus can bring death to life. So Martha, in the middle of her pain, she needed to run to the Bible. In the middle of her pain, she needed to go to Facebook to open and find some words of encouragement. She needed to watch what I do. My husband criticized me to go and read or watch a TD Jakes message only because I'm going through something. Or we need to call our friend or call our pastor to find some wisdom when everything is here in this book.
Right.
So, but Mary, she stayed in the house. She stayed put. And Jesus, this is amazing. Jesus was the one looking for Mary. How beautiful is that? Jesus told Martha, hey, by the way, now that you accept Jesus again in your heart, by the way, tell your sister that I'm looking for her. Go inside the house and tell your sister that I'm looking for her. Tell your sister that I know her pain. Tell your sister that I know she has been crying for her brother. So we see that she was not desperately waiting for Jesus. She knew that Jesus will come. She stayed in the house because she knew that Jesus will come. She fell at his feet with expression that she recognized his authority, that she recognized the dependence on him. She expresses her pain, but as a friend. She expresses her pain as a friend, not like Martha said, why am I here? Oh, you say in the Bible that you will do this and this and this for me, and that you die for my sin and you die for my sickness. She said, God, with the dependence on him as a friend. John 15:14-16 said, you are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you slaves because a master doesn't confine his slaves. Now you are my friends since I have told you everything the Father had told me. And this is beautiful. You didn't choose me. I chose you. Jesus was the one looking for Mary. And Mary said, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would have not died. And you know, we can criticize Mary that she was doubting, but she lost her brother. She was a mess. This is a huge loss. In the Bible only showed there was Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Any more family in the house. So she lost her brother. But my sister, Jesus calls friends. We can see that as Mary, we can free as we need, whatever we want in front of Jesus. He's not annoyed with your pain. He's not annoyed with your pain. I want to call my strong man here. Don't get annoyed. Don't get annoyed with my sister's pain and tears and emotions, because Jesus cried with this lady. Jesus cried with this lady. The Bible says, and I'm saying this for my husband, not for you guys. The Bible says he saw her pain and he cried. He got anger in his heart. The Bible said that he got trouble in his heart because he saw Mary cry. And he said, I need to act quick, because she had been waiting for me in the house. She was waiting for me in the house. He was full of compassion. And he said, take me to the body. Take me to the body. Where is the body? Where is Lazarus? Take me to the place you buried your dreams. Take me to the place that hurt you. Take me to the place that left you alone. Take me to the place. Jesus said, don't be scared. I want to go to the darkness of the grave. I want to go to the darkness of the grave. I want to see the dead body. He wants to see the darkness where nobody can see the real pain, where nobody can see the real you. He wants to go to the darkness of your room when you take all the beautiful clothes, where you take the makeup, to hide all the imperfections that only you can see, because everything is in your mind, and everything, not only you can see those imperfections. He wants to go to the dark. When you hide all the abuse, where you hide all the pain, he wants to go to the darkness of your grave. Jesus is your friend, my sister. He cares about you. He wants to cry with you, because he wants to bring whatever is dead in your life, he wants to bring that to life. At the same as Lazarus, he wants to bring you to life, because he is the God of the life. He's the God of today, tomorrow, and forever. Yes. Not only begin at Jesus' feet, show how we acknowledge who he is, but also demonstrate a sense of trust, a sense of dependency of God. Mary knew, and she trusted in God's and Jesus' eternal plan. She trusted to her friend. We can develop trust and we develop friendship, but you're not going to be able to develop the trust in Jesus if you don't spend time with him. So I have been married 9 years, and my husband, he knows all my expressions, because I have a lot of expressions in my face. He knows all my moods and my emotions. So when something happened or I had a difficult day at work, I just entered the house and I don't have to say a word. And he said, come here, you need a hug, because he knows that something is inside of me or something is going on in my life. But we developed that in 9 years. We developed that because we are close. We have that deep relationship day and night. And we're not going to be able to develop that relationship with God if we don't spend time with him. You are crying, but he is looking for you. You think that he is late, but he's coming, my sister. He is coming. He is coming. He's just around the corner. He's waiting for you. Number 3, the next encounter with Mary and Jesus is in John 12. And we want to call this, at his feet, we can understand his plan. Number 1 is, at his feet, we get to know him. Second, at his feet, we become his friend. And at his feet, you understand his plan. So John 12 says 6 days before Passover ceremonies began, Jesus arrived in Bethany where Lazarus was, the man he had brought back to life. A banquet was prepared in Jesus' honor. Martha served, and Lazarus sat at the table with him. Then Mary, again Mary, took a jar of costly perfume made from essence of nard and anointed Jesus' feet. She anointed Jesus' feet. And not only that, but he wiped his feet with her hair. But Judas, remember Judas, the disciple of Jesus, the one who betrayed him? He said that perfume was worth a fortune. It should have been sold and the money given to the poor. And the Bible says that not that he cared about the poor, but he was in charge of the disciples' funds, and often he dipped into the treasure and used some money for his use. Jesus replied, "Let her alone. She did this in preparation for my burial. You can always help the poor, but I won't be with you very long." So this action of Mary giving a expensive perfume and spending the perfume on Jesus' feet was an action that demonstrated the love that she had for Jesus, but also demonstrated that she knew his true identity and purpose. This was made clear with Jesus' comment that he said, "You understand, Mary, something that the others are not sensitive to understand. The other ones, they are blind to understand." You remember when Jesus, the Bible said that Jesus, when he went to the cross, he wasn't a human body. And he wanted to do the will of his Father, but he had some troubles in his heart. It's like he was not doubting, but he had fear in his heart. But he wanted to do his Father's will. And with this, Jesus said, "Poor people you always will have, but you don't understand that soon I will leave in you? You don't understand that I'm leaving you, that I'm going to go to the cross after this week?" And this woman understands the troubles that are inside of me. She understands the concerns in my heart. She was able to read Jesus' spirit. She was able to know what was going on in that moment. She cried at his feet and spent the most valuable thing that she possessed. And with this, she said, "Jesus, I recognize that you're going to be dying for me. I am so grateful that you give into life for me. I'm so grateful that you're pouring your heart and your body and your sacrifice for my life, for my own sins." Mary took her time to spend time at Jesus' feet, that she was able to recognize Jesus' purpose. She was able to recognize Jesus' purpose. Mary really was paying attention to the word, because Jesus all the time, everything that he was preaching was about going to the cross. And she was paying attention because she was at the feet of Jesus. And he mentioned several times that he was the Messiah and he will die at the cross. She was connected with Jesus' spirit. And because she was connected, she was able to discern what was going on. 1 Corinthians 2:10, Pastor Jose read a couple of weeks, and I love this verse. I was preaching last week in Maryland, and I shared the same verse in different story. But he said, "But it was to add that God revealed these things by his Spirit. For his Spirit search out everything and show us God's deepest secrets. No one can know a person's thoughts except the person's own spirit, and no one can know God's thoughts except God's own Spirit. And we have received God's Spirit, not the world's spirit, so we can know the wonderful thing God has freely given us." So at his feet, we can understand the wonderful thing that God already planned for us, that God already have ahead of us. But if we are not spending the time at Jesus' feet, at Jesus' presence, we're not going to be able to be connected with Jesus. Judas, he spent more time with Jesus than Mary. Remember, Judas was one of the 12 disciples. So Judas spent more time with Mary, but he was never connected with Jesus' heart. He was never connected with Jesus' spirit. He was never able to understand what was going on in that room, what was going on, what Mary was doing. He was close to Jesus, but at the same time, he was far away. How many of you can agree with me that sometimes we can be in church for so long? We can be serving here in the church or in other church. We can do some practice, some religion practice. But if we are not connected with Jesus, we are losing our time. We are losing the opportunity to understand what God is doing in our lives. To understand that God don't brought you here to leave your destiny in your own hands. To understand that what is the purpose, the destiny, what is ahead of you, what God had ahead of you, what God had for tomorrow for you, and what things He had plans for you. And the Bible said a long time ago. He didn't plan things for you at the spot. He has something planned for you a long time ago. And just maybe we can be going through temporary, painful situations, but we need to stay inside. We need to rest peaceful because God is looking for you, my sister. God is looking for you, and He's calling your name. He's calling your name, and He is coming. He is coming. Verse 3 of the John 12, you don't have to put it, and say that the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume, with the fragrance of Jesus. Her obedience, her loyalty, her acknowledgement of who Jesus was filled the house, not only with the perfume, but with the fragrance of Jesus. If you spend time with somebody that have a strong smell, you get a strong in your clothes. My kids, they have a titi titi. Titi titi is a Yomaira for them. And Titi or Yomaira have a beautiful known smell. I know that you know Yomaira, you know that she has the same smell all the time. It's beautiful. And when my kids spend time at her house, when they come home, they come back, they have a Titi smell all over their clothes, the hair, the toy, the book bag. You know that they were with Titi because Titi has a smell. 2 Corinthians 2:15 say, for we are the aroma of Christ to God among those who are being saved and among those that are perishing. Can people smell the aroma of Christ in your life? If you spend time with Jesus, you're going to get that aroma. You're going to get that aroma. You're going to be impregnated with the fragrance of Jesus. You're going to start smelling like Jesus. You're going to start talking like Jesus. You're going to start acting like Jesus. And that beautiful smell, that beautiful aroma is going to impregnate your own life, your family, your marriage, your workplace, your business. You can't hide that smell. You can't hide it. The people are going to think, my husband say, what is going on with you? Because now you're so loving and so doing good things. Because people are going to know that you are more loving, more patient, more stress-free woman. I invite you, my sister, moms, young ladies, you really need to get to know this Jesus. This Jesus of the Bible. I have been in church for so long. But sometimes we get to know like Martha. Remember her words? You are the Son of God. Like so religious, so far away. The word that Martha used was, oh yes, I know that you are the Son of God, the Messiah that came to this world. Like something out of this world. And Mary said, Jesus, the only thing that I know that you have been here, my brother would never have died. You need to start learning Jesus as the Bible. how simple he was in the Bible. And you're going to be able to understand, as you develop that friendship with Jesus, you're going to be able to understand the plan that Jesus has for your life. And you're going to be able to conquer, to get strong, to know the bright and beautiful plan that God has for your life. But we need to change the ways. We need to change the way crying and worrying and running will not help us. We need to have the wisdom and the knowledge, the plans of our Father, so we can understand the secrets of our Father, the secrets for our life. But only that happens through God's Spirit, through our spirit. If you don't have Jesus in your heart, I want to pray with you.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. A special thanks to those who continuously support us. If you want to stay connected, go to scarletnote.org. See you next time.